Hey Terry, how's it going, man?
Very well, Dr. Brooks. How are you today?
Good, good. It's so fun to
Good.
catch up.
Oh, it
So
is.
I have to tell everybody out there, I'll never forget. I'm right in the middle of trying to deliver like this really important point, and I see my friend Terry in the back, like doubled over, laughing his head off. I'm like, what is going on? So I think that those aha moments they can come for me and everybody's so differently, but I just appreciate being here. This is just a little podcast to let people out there know that you can be professional and successful and responsible and still have things you've got to sort out, still have a puzzle to put together. And that's certainly my life, and I know that you experience some of that too. So I would really like to let you talk. So what happened that actually pushed you into this place where you made a phone call and said, I got to get out of here, like I've got to like shift this up, like what was happening?
So my story that brought me to the bridge is basically one of that I've learned a lot of males. I'm 52 years old, but a lot of males in that age range. Yep. Get hit by heavy stuff in life, and mine was a unfaithful relate wife, and it was a hard hit to me, right to my soul. And the other was losing my position, full time work. Um, I also, because of COVID, I closed my practice and moved to Tennessee. So that is a positive thing, but it was an adjustment of going from self-employed to employed, and then getting run over by the corporate world of just being chewed up. So a lot those three, I'd say those three, four things really, put me into a hole. I found myself sitting more and more and more on the couch, and without really quite knowing it, falling into a deep depression. And I needed a swift kick in the rear end, and my wife did that for me, and she just said, kind of move or get out. So I told her, I opened to her, and that was another thing I never really did well, of speaking and telling her what's going on, and I just shouldered a lot of things, as I think most men do. And we had our conversation, and that brought us um, to her getting involved and trying to help. And she thought I was sitting on the couch and having ice cream and and watching binging TV. And she was right about binging, but it wasn't out of enjoyment. So
Right.
so that brought us. She started looking. She found the bridge. I researched what or read over what she found, and it was a pivotal moment in my life of making that decision. And I think that you have to be at that point and be ready to accept some help.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with everything you said, especially about, the generality of being a man, like the ego and the stress and the frustration and the tenderness that I think a lot of people understand too. Like we have soft hearts. We might have tough exteriors, but we've got pretty soft hearts. So any one of those three would put most people all the way down. So to have three at a time and still be swinging, I mean, that says a lot about your commitment to at least being resilient. And I mean, get to the bridge and work through the program. What was that like? I mean, how was it to be a long ways from home, 3 weeks, all strangers in the beginning? Like what was it like to kind of show up and then work through that space and put some pieces together? I'll just let you speak to that.
So obviously, the first time you're in a group, and our group was 16. So first week, first night, it was awkward, and then and slowly, I'm Terry, I'm from Tennessee, and handling all of those, those awkward questions, and and it was hard. But after going through the bridge, I would say that my initial week at the bridge, your staff, yourself, and the staff. Um, my interpretation was that that first week was just to open the valve and let all the stress and pressure just to be released.
Yeah.
whether it be the staff in the main house, which are phenomenal individuals. I also, to the massages, to some of the talk, the talk therapy. But my first week, for me, it was definitely a release valve and letting everything deflate. After that, it was, what are we doing here? And I understand the talking and the concepts and the lectures, and it was making sense. But what are we doing? And it was a little bit of, I don't want to say confusion, but what's the next steps? I was looking for the next steps. Okay, well, let's move forward. Let's go now. I got it. And then the second week was development, and then the third week was you hitting me with, we carry our bowl of stuff and you just got to put it down. and and I'll tell you, it was a very, it hit me right to the heart. And so I think for individuals that are looking at this lecture, podcast, potentially, uh, figuring out what the bridge is, it's just, there's not one lecture, one provider that runs everything. It's just this compilation of unbelievably well-trained individuals that just hit you from all angles, and it just breaks the whole exterior down. And then, like you mentioned earlier, I had that aha moment where, I don't want to spoil the lecture, but all the different identities that we have and all the thoughts that can happen and the millions of thoughts that happen every minute, every hour. Why would I choose to be that person that's living in depression?
Yeah.
And it hit me, and I found that when aha hits me, I just giggle. I don't know why, but I just giggle.
I loved it. It was awesome.
Ah, man, it was just a wonderful, wonderful moment.
It was also kind of funny that someone else in your group found that highly offensive. So I thought that was kind of fun too, that,
Well, listen, he just wanted to be in on the joke,
yeah, yeah,
and who doesn't?
yeah.
Everybody wants to be in on the joke. So, but it wasn't a
So funny.
joke about anyone.
Yeah,
It was just this.
right.
Holy mackerel! That is, and really, Doc, everyone that, I think everyone, all the providers, all the lectures, everything, for me, led led up to that moment. And then it was just, I couldn't have heard that message in week one.
Yeah,
Really, the week one and week three, huge jumps, huge leaps and bounds.
yeah,
That you just, my experience, I definitely was not able or ready to hear any of those latter lectures. I wouldn't. It would have gone over my head because I was
right.
in a bad place.
Yeah, and even now and forever, right? I mean, all of us are in some stage of development, myself included. And there are, it's a cheesy old quote, but I got to say it. It's that old Confucius, I think, when Ray says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And you can spend years and years and years thinking that you're ready for the lesson, but you're not ready as a student, so the lesson never comes. But man, all of a sudden, the instant you're ready, wham, like they just start falling and falling and falling. And I learn as much from you guys really at the bridge. We get together regularly, I mean daily, and talk about, did you hear what Terry just said? Did you catch what, and man, as a staff, even, it's just a pleasure to like be there while you guys, because you're all big shots in your own right, like, but to watch you put those principles in place from your standpoint, from your life, from your profession, from your like home life. All of us, like everybody in that soup, we learned together. And I just think it's, yeah. So a session like yours, that was just, you guys busted your butts. It was a lot of fun. We still talk about the Terry session. It was great fun. So you get there, there's psych, there's activities, there's this experience of wellness, all that, but then you go home and it's just easy, right? Everything just flops over and the birds chirp, and and it's just daisies and money. Yeah. No. Yeah.
No.
So how is, I think that's really important to be very authentic about that, right? Like you get these
Yes.
principles and you make these shifts, but then you go back into the real world and then you start really like experimenting with the implementation of that stuff. And that's no joke. Like that's hard. Like how has that been for you? Because it's been a while.
So, so I was in the December, so we're in April now. So we have a few months that have been gone by. I definitely needed to decompress from those 3 weeks. So my decompression was probably 10, 14 days,
Mm,
because it's intense. And if you're taking it serious
yeah.
and you really want change, it's a lot, you know,
Yeah.
and
It's
it's a lot, but it's a wonderful a lot. It's not it's not I'm overwhelmed. I can't think. I can't. You know. I mean, you're tired at night. Sure. You know. It's exhausting. But so I decompressed for, let's call it, 2 weeks, and then after that, um, I started to hear what Brad was saying, what the providers were saying, yourself, that a shift has already happened. Just go home and start living it. And I was, what are you talking about? And again, it was confusing because this new concept of really freedom and a way of thinking, and all the books that you suggested for us to read, I'm still chewing through it. So it's certainly not a 3 weeks and you're done and birds chirping. It's definitely
yeah,
not. But
right.
it is such a catapult to a new way of thinking, and the continued support for from the bridge. You know, afterwards, I could call Brad. I've called you and I've talked to you directly. I mean,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, right. But you're reachable, unlike most physicians that I go to see. I get 5, 10 minutes with, and it's all computer work and click, click,
Yeah.
and that model just it just doesn't. I don't know. I don't think that that traditional medical model works. But
Yeah.
your model, it catapults you into a new way of thinking. It opens your eyes. It takes down big, heavy walls. It wrecks right through them, and then it allows you, myself, the the resident patient, to now start that work of implementing in a very, very um, tough world.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the things. Untethered soul. I've read that 3, 4 times,
I
and
know, right?
and I'm still trying to chew through and take notes on that.
Yeah.
And you know, Doc, if you, some people said, you know, try reading Untethered Soul, and I know you just, that'd be a tough one to read if not opened up to, or being willing to hear a new a new way of thinking. But it definitely is a great book everyone should read. It kind of aligns with your way of thinking, your program.
Right.
It definitely feeds into that. But the work afterwards, it's continual work. You know,
Yeah.
people and pressures and work. You know, work, actual
Yeah.
employment. Like, you know, like there's a lot of demands that hit us from all different angles, and you know, in either yourself or somebody, we're sitting on a ball of dirt that's spinning at 18,000 miles an hour in the
Yeah.
middle of nothing. And
Right.
I'm gonna worry about if my productivity at work is 80 or 82%.
Right.
Come on.
So I know, right? That's a, you definitely have read The Untethered Soul. That's a Michael Singerism for sure. It's awesome.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So the work afterwards, there's definitely work afterwards, and the you know, your program truly does support us afterwards. And I forget what it is, 2 months or 3 months after.
Yeah.
All those calls are great to just really just keep anchoring, keep keep you grounded into this new way of thinking.
Yeah.
And it's that's really, really helpful. And the providers afterwards, the 4 provider visits afterwards, um, I could just, I could be in and around the bridge for the rest of my life.
Well, I think I joked about this with you guys. There's an old Hair Club for Men commercial where the guy that does the hair transplants, and he says, "Not only am the owner, but I'm a satisfied client," or something like that. That's exactly how I feel. It's a pleasure to go out and take snips and learn from you guys and work through that stuff. But the reason I wanted you on, Terry, is you're unique in your professionalism and your intensity, and you'd already been hit really hard in the mouth by things that would really truly like and have crushed a lot of people. Not could, but have crushed a lot of people. And to come and say, look, I'm not going down. I'm not going out. I'm not quitting. I just don't know how to assemble this. Right. And I love that. About you particularly. I was like, this guy right here, of course he's hurt. You got your nose bloodied, right? But you're going to bite down hard on your mouthpiece and you're going to come and swing. You just don't know what to hit. And you don't know quite where to put it. Like you got the desire and you want to do the effort, but I think, and for me too, it seems like a lot of us, when we're not, when we know we need to do something, but we're not sure what, we just get paralyzed. It's like, I don't know what to do. I would do it if I did, but I just don't know. I can't, it's so overwhelming. There's so many pieces. Like how do I put this puzzle together? But I don't know. I loved your attitude that way, where you came and you brought a whole bunch of tricky positions and just said, well, I'm willing, like, let's arrange these things in a way that I can put together a life for myself. I don't expect it to be easy. It's not always going to be good tasting. I don't
No,
care that it's whatever. You were willing and really wanted to work. So I wanted you to be on for a minute and just tell folks out there that are struggling, like, yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's no joke. And yeah, the bridge is a great place, but you've still got to keep your sleeves rolled up and work. So anyway, I'm so appreciative of that.
I would. I mean, if I could speak to anyone and anytime, listen. I've been in tune with people when I spoke with Mary, the intense listening, and I was like, "What is that?" And then I spoke with her. She said, "Terry, you have the ability because of living in New York and always looking over your shoulder and being on high alert and who's behind me,
Right.
who's going to get me, and that's just new. That's just the kind of New York side. But growing up in New York and having that awareness." It's a skill and a talent that you have. And I'll tell you, I've stepped into a new job and I feel bad for some of the communications that patients are getting and lack of attention. And it's like, oh, she just needs a pat on the back. And the other physical therapist is like, come on, we gotta keep going. I'm like, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
do this. And everybody is jumping through hoops. And I'm not patting myself on the back, but um I digress,
You should, but
but
you
but
learn, like, that intuition's coming back. Like being a good provider in your own right is coming back from here and from here, not just mechanically. So I love
no,
that.
no, it's very authentic. I want every person I come across that I'm treating to to spread their wings and fly, soar high. And Doc, again, back before I came to the bridge, I read what does a day entail, and it's hikes. And I went on that first hike, and I was like, this isn't a hike. This is easy.
Yeah,
I'm walking here.
yeah,
But I'll tell you, those hikes are so important because
yeah,
it allows you to start seeing color again, beauty in the world. That everything that I saw was black and white.
yeah.
You're right. I'm right. You're wrong. I,
Right.
not color skies. I didn't even look. I didn't even look up. I never looked at the sky for a year and a half. Um,
Wow.
so if I could say to anybody that I get the opportunity to speak with and to encourage them to just keep pushing through, get
Mm.
a woman said to me one time, as you're climbing over your issue, it feels like a ginormous boulder. But once you're over it, you look back and it looks like a pebble.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of that's been my experience with this is it was really hard to get to the bridge. It was really hard going through it. It was exhausting afterwards. I'm still exhausted sometimes, but I
Yeah.
have a I found a thirst for life that I didn't I didn't ever pick up my gun to to take my life, but it I truly could understand how people get there, and
Yeah.
and I never I never want a person to feel that deep and lost. But just reach out. Just
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. Go to your neighbor. Go to the neighbor 12 blocks over.
Yeah.
Call the police. Do anything besides taking that step. Because man, when you find I've been blessed. I've been absolutely blessed being able to find yourself and your staff and the whole experience. I don't know where I don't know where I'd be right now. And it definitely wouldn't be I know this doesn't look happy, but it definitely wouldn't be in a happy place or finding joy in my family again or seeing a blue sky as I look up.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't be there. And you help me. You're right. I think very analytical and pieces step one, step two, step three. And you guys help me put some sense to this very confusing diagnosis of depression.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well, I'll tell you, like I've got to be completely transparent here. You do the work, like you do all your own work, and you worked your butt off, and it shows. And I mean, all the respect and love for you in the world, man. You really took it seriously, and what a pleasure to just sit on the sidelines and cheer. Not everybody puts everything in, and you did. And of course it's not easy going home. You've still got stuff you're hacking through. So do I. Like, welcome to mortality, right? Like, but
yeah,
with the right tools and the right pivot and a little bit of hope, like you really can navigate beautifully, and you're doing that, man. I'm really proud of you. Thank you.
and thank you.
Thanks.
Really
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
appreciate everything.
Well, yeah, I'm so appreciative. I won't take the rest of your day, but I'm so glad you took a couple minutes. And anyone that watches this, uh, take some inspiration and take some courage and take some hope from listening to Terry, and get your butt out here. Let us get to work. Let us help you.
It'll be life changing if you can make the commitment, but be true and authentic with making that commitment. Don't make a commitment that yeah, I'll do it for my wife or I'll do it for you. You go out there really open and ready to work and accept the help and life. I promise life will be so great coming out of the bridge and a few short months after that.
Love it. I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Keep in close touch. I'm excited to hear about your adventures, and we'll talk to you really soon.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks. Have
Hey,
a
thank
nice evening.
you. Yes,
Take
you too.
care. Bye bye.
Yep.